you saucy lot, it's your boy the Blade Runner, and this week a lot of the kids are going to be going back to school after the COVID lockdown. Well, it's been lifted, isn't it, for the kids going back to school. So yeah, this little man, my son, needs a haircut. Now what we like with his hair is to keep a decent bit of length on top. We're working with a disconnection through the sides. I'll probably take that to about a 2 and then blend it down to a 1. So it's disconnected through here. But through the back last time we gave it more of a visual blend. Okay, so we're going to be working with a blend through the back, a disconnection through the sides. Going to keep the layers quite square. I'm not really going to be rounding off too much because I want to keep that length. If I round it off, I'm probably going to be losing this bit of length, yeah? By lifting it, my length is going to drop. Going to be using these scissors today. They are by, who are they? SHAROND. I bought them on AliExpress for a massive price of £12. Now I normally use Keisho, Joel's, Batonian Guy scissors, but I thought I'd go for something a little bit cheaper just to see how the budget scissors go for. And I don't think you can get much more budget than £10 or £12. I think it was £12 actually. And also for the clipper work, I'm going to be using the Wahl 1919's, but I've actually made a bit of an upgrade on the blade. I've used the Legend blade and the Legend bracket. The reason I did that is I want basically the lever just to open up that little bit more. And with the Legend, if you've used those, they open up to pretty much a number 1. So I'm going to get him gowned up, going to section it all off, then we're going to chop his hair. Happy days. Alright, so we're going to start working with a 2. I'm just going to scoop out slightly because I want to go right up to the hairline. I could go right up, but I want it a little bit more subtle. Just by leaving that little bit here, it just makes it more subtle. And from here, just dropping it down, working through my comb. See that kind of a movement I'm doing? Basically stopping me from going too high. And this is just really just clearing the runway for when I want to put the number 1 on. And exactly the same just on the other side. And so I'm scooping out just very slightly. And as I get towards just behind the ear, I'm going to start working it through my comb. That kind of a movement. Okay, once I've done that, I'm now going to put the grade 1 onto the clipper. Just really just flicking out as I do it. That's a 1. What I'm going to do in a moment, once I've gone round, I'm going to open that up. And that's going to help me just blend between the 1 and the 2. Always be aware of the shape that you're trying to create. With clipping, you go over it once, you go over it again. You just keep going over it till all the hairs come off that you want removed. You alright, son?
Yeah.
Looking forward to school?
No.
Typical. Does school get in the way of the Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to follow that through. Ears do move, so when if you're a non-hairdresser and you just try to get some tips, the ears do move. Some people, they struggle with it, just going behind the ear and just be struggling. So actually just pull the hair down, or the ear, not the hair. So turn the head as you want it to. You know, heads do move. Now, normally, obviously, if it was like school holidays or anything like that, then I would have taken this down to like a skin fade. But a lot of the schools, especially the senior schools, they don't like skin fade, which I think is I've never understood it, because when you get a skin fade or a short fade, you know, it's hygienic. And in times like these, hygiene is key. Okay, so now I'm going to open that clipper up. And that's just going to help me just get that little bit of a blend. See through here, I've got a bit of a line through here at the moment. So just by opening that clipper up, takes it to about up, it adds an extra 0.5 on top of the one. It's a very light flicky movement, yeah? It's almost like your hand, this part of the hand, it's like a pivot, yeah? And you use your thumb. Yeah, you don't have to have people, they hold these clippers so hard like that, and they don't need to, then you can literally, you can just come in like that. It's still going to cut the hair, but obviously your thumb gets put on it just for added security, because you don't want to be dropping a set of clippers. It gets quite expensive. Just going to start scissor over combing. Literally, it's that kind of movement. So the comb goes in, you're moving the scissors faster than what you are with the comb. Obviously, you cut all the, it wouldn't be controlled. So literally, you're moving the scissors, and you're working up quite methodically. And you are literally just coming out. It's like a scooping movement. If you basically wasn't scooping out, you just kind of went in, you'd be taking all of this hair out as well. So what I was saying about thinking about the shape you want to achieve, I wanted to achieve a little bit of the weight, a little bit of drop through here. So I'm just coming out. Got a bit of an itchy neck, Sonny?
Yeah.
So you're always conscious of the shape that I'm achieving or trying to achieve. Try to finish that on this side as well. It's all very well being awesome with a set of clippers. I think a lot of people, they tend to forget how important the classics like scissor over comb are. I think sometimes scissor over comb, it gives you that little bit more control. And then the hairline will do right at the end. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to drop the hair down now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drop the first section, come around on it. Just going to take a radial section. That's a section, it will basically go from ear to ear. Push that hair back. Comb underneath and over the top. Now let's see how good these scissors are. Oh, they cut quite nicely actually. Now, so far these scissors, they're not snagging on the hair at all. So you comb it, see how it falls. Take the next section. See, at the moment, I'm not worried about that at the moment, yeah? I don't want to be rounding that off. So we take another section, but this time we're going to elevate the hair just a little bit more. So the first section we had, we pulled out at 45. This time we're going to put it out just at a slightly higher elevation. Next section, we're going to work through the top. Okay, all going to be horizontal sections. I'm going to lift this up through here. I'm just going to point cut the top. I actually am really quite suitably impressed with these scissors. It's not a length that I would normally go with. I would normally go with like 6.5 inch blade. These are about, well, they're supposed to be a 6 inch, but I don't think they're even 6 inches. They feel like about 5.5 to me. But they're cutting really nice. I think one of the problems that you can have when you buy these budget scissors is that they can feel amazing for a couple of months, and then they just blunt quickly. I mean, the K-Show Millenniums I had, I mean, I paid about just under £1,000 for them, and I had them about 8 years, and they just didn't go blunt. And I doubt very much that these would go blunt. So I'm not really taking much off top. One thing I would say to people, a mistake I see as well, when people point cut, they do this. They've got their hand with their thumb facing towards them. People do this because when you're cutting blunt, you tend to cut this direction, and people naturally just do this. The problem is, if the hair's longer and you're working that kind of working like a square layer or anywhere where you're actually elevating the hand, you're going to put yourself a lot of stress actually on the wrist. So what you actually want is it so your thumb is turned out, so your thumb is away from you and you can see the top of your hand. What that's going to do is it's going to stop you actually trashing your hand and your wrist. And through here, I'm just elevating back very slightly. So I'm not going with the shape of the head. I'm just elevating back slightly. What that's going to do is it's going to retain a little bit of the length and a little bit of the weight on the front. This is because I'm over directing. See, everything's brought up to 90 and 90 over directed. What that's doing, that's going to retain that little bit of length through here. Slightly. Bear in mind when the hair is damp, the length you take it to when you're working out the fringe or your bangs, whatever you want to call them, is it will jump slightly once it dries and as soon as you release. So big mistake people make when they're cutting the fringe. My mum used to do it on my hair. She'd soak my hair down and she'd comb it down so hard like that, and then she'd cut across, and I used to have a bit of a cowlick at the front, and it would go twing, and it would just jump up. So you don't want to be putting too much tension. You can cut the fringe dry as well. But I've got to say, I'm very impressed with these scissors. £12. And then just going to just slice into that a little bit. Going to slice, it's more of a channel cutting technique. If you want to keep the length, but you want to take out the weight, basically you go with the direction of the hair, and you don't shut the scissors, you literally just, almost like a squeeze. If you notice my blades, they're not actually closing at all. Literally, as soon as I feel the hair hit that edge, you just slide in. Just that little squeeze. Just gonna work that through to the other side. This is a great way of taking, of giving the hair, taking out the weight of it, but without over texturising. I could have literally just picked the hair up and just sliced it out. I don't want to do that. I want it to sit a bit flatter to the head. Right there, little man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take through there. Actually just cutting, just chipping into it a little bit. What have we done there? And then you're going to repeat the same thing through here. See that? I'm not shutting the blade. If your blades aren't sharp and you do this technique, you'll notice that the person you're doing it on, their eyes may just water a little bit. So yeah, unless you've got sharp blades, don't do this technique. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy up that hairline. I think it's so important to get that hairline right. Someone's asked me, you know, what the difference was between like cutting hair in a barber shop and cutting hair as a lady's hairdresser. And the way it was explained to me is it's a bit like a painting. With barbering, it's all about the frame and the outside. With ladies' hairdressing, cutting men in a lady's hairdressing, it's all about the painting. So I think it's a fair way of actually explaining it. I think it's a lot of barbers, they do tend to really work on the outline and they get it looking good, but sometimes the layers can be a little bit lacking. A lot of barbers, I'm not saying all because there's a lot of brilliant barbers, but some barbers, they're not really into the sheer work and they're all just about the actual outline. I think every barber should do a little bit of like ladies hairdressing as well and actually understand layering process a lot better as well. I think it would make some barbers a bit better than what they are. Anyway, so I'm just going to blast this all up now. Okay, so I've finished the haircut, just blasted it through, put a little bit of product through the hair. If you stand up, Sonny. Okay, look at the side. So what we've got, this is more of a blend through here. Create a little bit of weight. Then through here, we've got a disconnection. Up to the disconnection is about 2, just a bit longer, flicked out, and then work to 1 all around the outside. Stand straight, Sonny. Kept the layers very square, kept it heavy on top, just kept a little bit of weight on that fringe, but so it's still out of his eyes. So there you go, guys. That's the haircut. Hope you like it, and yeah, please don't forget, stay subscribed, and we'll see you later. Give us a thumbs up.